Okay, welcome to the first episode of the KTM sorting out. Today I'm going to attempt to change the clutch. So there's a few things I need to do. Should be able to get past all these covers without taking that off, and then need to take that out, take this off, and then once I've got that off I can have a look at what state the clutch is in, because there seems to be an awful lot of rattle coming out of there. So hopefully this will sort the problem out, and yeah, then we can have that all done and dusted. So let me get started. Okay, so nuts and bolt, that's out of the way. It opens all the rest of this up to easily get into those bolts. Okay, I've cracked all these loose. Now it's just a matter of unscrewing these little bolts. So rather than you watching me take every single one out, you get the idea. So I'll pick it up when I'm about to take the cover off. Okay, so that's all the bolts loose. I did run this a little just to warm it up because it's like so bloody cold in this place. Actually doesn't look too bad in there. Maybe I am just kind of imagining the rattle bit. I don't know, it seems excessive to me, but yeah, maybe it's just like that, I don't know. But either way, what we'll do is have a look at the plates while we've got it open, and then see what the booster looks like. And there's a little bit of play in there, but until I get the actual clutch plates out I won't actually know how much. So we'll take it apart and have a look and then see from there. Okay, so just one thing, when you take these apart, wherever you start, go opposite. So if you go there to there, there to there, there to there. Not exactly sure why you do it. I suppose possibly to get it a nice even when you tighten it back up, but take it out the same way you put it in, and yeah, hopefully that will make the clutch plates sit nice and tight and even. Okay, so with the cap off, screws in place, I now know where my rattle is. I'm not sure why this thing can move around so much, but it's no wonder it's rattling. I mean, that is an awful lot of play. And yeah, you would have thought that the bolt would have been a bit tighter, but everything rattles in here. So gonna take off the sensor nut and then have a see, because I have all of this stuff to replace it with, see what the wear is like on this, and then yeah, kind of see, because it doesn't look like the clutch was replaced that long ago. So yeah, I'm not sure why they didn't go along and I'm sure that's got to be tighter than that. That seems crazy loose. There's so much movement on the shaft, forward and backwards movement. So yeah, I'll do some finding out, but that's kind of where it's at the moment. Okay, so after a bit of investigating, I've found that this outer plate has got bigger blocks on it. It's supposed to be on the outer, and those are the inner plates, which are smaller. As you can see the difference there. On this bike, the outer plate was in the middle of the pack, so that obviously doesn't help much. I wasn't, like, the clutch wasn't slipping, but it wasn't kind of obviously doing the right thing. The second issue I have is, like, there's one plate short, because you can see there's enough space here to put another plate in, but you can't fit another one in, because then it'll be metal on metal somewhere along the way. So what it should look like, bear with me, is this one, which when it's in, as you can see, these are level all the way to the top. So I'm going to take this clutch pack out of my spare clutch that I've got here and fit these in to this bike, and then I will take it for a ride and see what it feels like, and then see if that makes any difference. So yeah, I'm not sure, it must just be worn plates which has given me that much space, but yeah, I'm not sure. So we'll change these over and then bath those other ones in oil before we put them in, and then yeah, stick them in here and then see how it fits on when we've got it in here. Okay, all the plates are out, and it's a bit of a fiddly one to get the last one out. Don't forget there's a washer right at, like a spring washer right at the back there. Gonna bath these plates in oil, and then I will put them in one at a time, and I will catch you up as soon as I've got to the end of that. Okay, so it's all back together. Plates are in. You can see now it's sitting nice and flush. Tighten these up to 10 Newton meters in opposites, so it even tightens down evenly. Now it's just a matter of putting the covers back on and then taking it for a test drive, because then the next thing I do will be service, which is going to be a joy, because you've got to take off the tanks because the oil filler's behind the tank. So we'll put all this back together and then get a verdict on how it feels. Okay, so that's all the new plates in. As you can now see, there's no more sort of gap, like there's a whole plates difference right on the end, which seems to be gone now. So that should hopefully take away a lot of the rattle. I'll put the cover back on, put the springs back in, torque those up to 10, and then hopefully that will fix that problem. Okay, so that's the rear brake pedal back on, clutch cover back on, everything's torqued up to 10 Newton meters on these ones, as well as the inner ones. So it's all back together. It's now just a matter of firing it up and seeing if there is much of a difference. Oh, it's like a totally different bike. Used to rattle and rattle and rattle like crazy. It sounds so much better. Oh, I can't believe the difference that that's made. So I hope you enjoyed how to change a clutch on the KTM 990. If you are getting a clutch that's quite rattly, I would suggest checking your clutch plates, even though you may not have slipped, you know, like slipping clutch or whatever. And the other thing to check for is to make sure that the big gripper plates are on the inside and the outside, not in the middle like was the case with this. So yeah, if you enjoyed that, next I will be doing a service on the bike, and that should be pretty straightforward. And then yeah, whatever else, panniers, crash bars, they'll be next. So yeah, stay tuned, and if you enjoyed it, hope that helps you when you next do your KTM clutch. Okay, so the clutch saga continued after I'd finished the video. I put the bike together, got everything working, clutch felt great, the bike was quiet, and then when I put it into gear it was very, very clunky and chunky and all the rest of it. Almost kind of like the clutch wasn't disengaging the motor. So I took it all apart again, and I was in a bit of a rush, so I didn't really film it all over again. But what I had done, which was quite stupid, but I thought I'd better just rectify the video rather than just leaving it. Luckily I got a spare clutch as well, I can show you. So what I'd done was, where these don't go all the way down, you've got all the clutch plates like that, I'd put one plate on that point and then the next plate was on, so which meant that the clutch plates sat higher than this, which is obviously incorrect because this needs to sit inside so that it can grip the little teeth on the inside of the basket. So everything was fine, everything's right, the clutch was put in correctly. It's just that one of these plates was on inside here rather than over there, which then meant that it was sitting above, slightly above, which was fine because it was only like the last like second last plate, I think, and that made it, I mean, everything tightened up, everything was great, but it just meant that this end cover wasn't sitting in the teeth on the inside of the clutch plate. So when you put it back together with the new clutch, make sure that all the plates are sitting inside the basket and not any of them sitting in the gaps next to it. So something to look out for, and if you don't do that, then your clutch will be fine and your bike should work perfectly. So I thought I'd just update the video just so there was no confusion, because if somebody did it and then the plates were sitting lower, they'd think there was a problem. So it actually needs to sit lower, and be careful of putting the clutch plates in the wrong place. Other than that, the bike's running great, the clutch is no more rattle and everything, so that's great. Next episode I will be doing the service on the bike, and then crash bars, panniers, and yeah, she should be good to go. So until next episode, keep well, and look forward to the next one.